Alright guys, very first shop, Ippu Ukishi, and it looks like they've reformed the outside of the shop since I've last been here. And this is where I got my blue dialed Hydronaut. And actually in 2013, 2014, this was the shop where I ordered my very first Rolex watch, which I'm actually wearing right here, the No Date Sub 14060. I was living in Fukuoka and ordered it from this shop online, and I was hooked since then. A brand new Datejust 41 two-tone selling for about $1,000 or $2,000 less than it would at an AD, depending on whether you're paying tax or not. A couple of two-tone diamond dial Datejusts, champagne dial with Romans, and I know a guy who bought at an authorized dealer one of these 36mm green Roman Datejust models, and this was the watch that got his foot in the door. He got a Pepsi after that and a Hulk. This 34mm Oyster Perpetual sells at the authorized dealer for 532,000 yen. Here it's selling for quite a bit less. This is a new piece, so if you were going to get this watch, then going through the shop could make sense. You wouldn't get your name on the card, you wouldn't have that AD experience, but you'd save a buck. The white gold Pepsi GMT Master 2 on the Oyster bracelet. I wouldn't be surprised if this gets discontinued. And the steel version on the Jubilee bracelet. And this looks like a Mark II or later dial because that blue looks dark. Certainly doesn't pop like the pre-ceramics, and that's one of the things I love about the pre-ceramics. This is a Datejust with a rotating turnograph bezel, but it doesn't say turnograph. This is a case serial from early 2000s. Maybe that's the way they did it back then. With the correct white balance, this Datejust doesn't look half bad. 36mm all steel with the smooth bezel, white Roman dial. It's an F serial, so 2003, 2004, 2005. Not a bad price. Box and papers, a little bit of scuffing on the bezel though. This is a newer 6-digit version, and compared to the F serial on the left, this is cheaper. Doesn't come with papers, but look at the difference aesthetically. This has a polished case and the polished middle links. I like the F serial a lot better. Quite a jump in price, but this is the modern Datejust with the state-of-the-art 3235 movement. It's got the more desirable black dial, warranty card dated 2019, so makes sense. Next to it, a couple of its 41mm brethren. Looks like the black dialed example is going for a bit more than the white dialed example. Could be because it's dated 2019, the warranty card, or the black dial is more desirable. My guess, probably a little of both. Although the white dial example is beautiful, some people think it's a little bit more feminine white dial watches, so I think there are a lot of guys out there that would pay more for the masculinity of the black dial. And speaking of masculinity, this doesn't have much. I mean, diamonds, white dial, Jubilee bracelet, fluted bezel. Can a men's watch get any more feminine? If you said two-tone, you might be right. I think that's one of the reasons I prefer, when it comes to the Datejusts, the 5-digit models. I guess I'm just a 5-digit guy all around. It's the lack of the polished middle links and the lack of polishing the case on those 5 digits that I really like. And, you know, you don't always have to go with the fluted bezel, which again can be a little shiny, a little sparkly. Things like the engine turn bezel is pretty nice. And yeah, that's probably what I'd go with. It's a bit old man, but I don't know if I'll ever go Datejust at all. I had an epiphany the other day about dial balance. I'll make a video about that, but I think Datejust may be ruled out. Of course, the ironic thing is any of these watches could go, say, scuba diving with you, and they'd be absolutely fine. They're sports watches dressed up as prissily as possible. Of course, if you're going to shell out the money for a Datejust, you probably want to go with the Datejust archetype. That's the Jubilee bracelet, fluted bezel. So I think the stick dials are really nice. So a black stick dialed version like that, I think, yeah, that's pretty cool. That's classic. But it's all relative because these look pretty tame compared to these. Not sure if those are factory diamonds set between the indices and the chapter ring. Let me know if you do. Here's one without those diamonds. Both are box and papers. These are 18238s, so they have the quick set as opposed to the 18038. Here's one without box and papers, a little bit cheaper. Pretty good prices for solid gold watches. Here's one with an interesting opaline dial. In Japanese, they describe it as white jewel with Romans. Many of you already know this, but the two prices you see, one is with tax, one is without. Tourists, if they take their passport, don't have to pay tax. Now, this is something you don't see every day. This is a pyramid dial, and because of that uniqueness, it makes it my pick of these yellow gold day dates. Pretty decent price, too, and it's box and papers. Here's a little bit better footage of it. You can see from that lower left lug, it's clearly been polished. That's pretty standard for all gold pieces. And here's that opalescent dial. You can see the way the colors play off of it. We're not done, but we're done with this video. I'll take a look at the Pro models in another video. I'll leave you with these interesting AP desk clocks. It would be a bit cringy, but I'd love it if Rolex made something like these. Hey, if you like this content, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing. Throw a comment in the comment section. Was I a little hard on the Datejusts? Let me know.